Welcome to TICE. Today I have with me Mr. Rakesh Sharrma. He is the founder of Mobilous and a serial entrepreneur. Welcome, sir.
Thank you.
So, before we talk more about your journey, can you tell my audience a bit about Mobilous? What is this new product?
So Mobilous is a technology company. You know, when I sold my last company, I thought that everybody would fund this new company without any problem because I've just sold to HP and there would be investors saying, Rakesh, take my money. When I told them that I'm going to build a company which is going to be a no-code technology, nobody funded it. So then I realized, okay, so what did I do selling my last company? And so Mobilous was a thought that my previous angels who had supported my last company, they said, okay, Rakesh, I know it's a foolish idea, but we will support you. But because you've done this. So luckily with the support of my angels, I actually got started. And Mobilous, we created a no-code technology. That means that you don't need to code by building a digital solution, a mobile application. And when you do that, it automatically generates an iOS, an Android, and a web application without coding. So which means that you don't need developers to build applications. Now we have introduced an AI module with it so that when we build a digital solution, the data that gets generated can be intelligently analyzed and forecasts and foresights and visualizations can be pushed back into the digital solution. So we own the patent of the technology now in the US, the world's only company with a no-code technology patent. And of course, now we have got it in India. India doesn't give a software patent. We are the only company to have got a pure software patent. And also in Japan, where my co-founder stays. So he's a Japanese, so we have a co-founder sitting out of Tokyo.
I would like to tell my audience that Mr. Sharma has founded 3 startups, and the first 2 have been acquired one by Reliance and the other by HP. So how has been your journey throughout the years?
So journey has always been exciting. I was a professional prior to getting to startups mode. So I'm an engineer and an MBA. So as an electrical engineer, I worked in manufacturing and of course in marketing and sales. But the whole idea of getting into technology was when I got trained in my previous company, which was Tata's. And that was the evolution of the entrepreneurial cycle of my life. And the journey definitely has been quite a bit of challenges as well, but the excitement always is there to create new things. And we found success on the way, failures as well. Not that every success comes smoothly. So the cycle has been pretty interesting, but the whole idea is to be able to create something new. That's always been the thought process of my life.
Don't you think that this technology is taking away the jobs of developers?
You can ask another question. Don't you think AI is taking away jobs of people? So the idea is that it is a very, very natural evolution of technology. Now, it doesn't mean that humans will cease to exist because there will be no jobs for people. It is always about upskilling ourselves. What we could do 10 years ago, we don't need to do. It is all getting automated. So then our developers have upskilled to more higher-end jobs. So we are constantly upskilling ourselves, and technology is taking away whatever is repetitive in nature, whatever is analytical in nature. But creativity cannot be taken away from humans.
Sure. Also, Mr. Sharma, can you tell me, can you take me through the journey of Mobilous, how successful it has been so far?
Okay. So the journey basically has been, because we are trying to create something which people initially found to be very foolish, and it has now found success. So it takes, I've met up the best VCs in California who decided not to actually initially go with it. So the journey was definitely very easy, not very easy. And we had to create a lot of code, value added. We needed customers to test bed our product. So India mein, whenever you go to a customer, they'll say, "Aur kisko becha?" So they will never want to be the first customer to say. So in Japan, I found test beds where they said, "Okay, when you're ready, come to me. I will test your product." So I think you need a lot of these kind of experiences. So we did a lot of this kind of test bedding in Japan and other countries. And finally we came to India, but we were about to launch it when COVID happened. And so success, basically, we almost got shut down in 2020. But the success came in with our very good solution that we built for Tata, and that became a success because we replaced TCS in that and the success that came with that actually was infectious for other companies to come in. So the journey has been from seeing extreme lows in this place in Mobilous to a great high where no code was considered as ahead of time, and suddenly no code is the prime technology that is here to stay for the next 8 to 10 years.
Also, coming from the business side, like we're talking at TIE Delhi NCR, so and you are one of the earliest member of TIE. So how has been your experience with it?
Oh, TIE has been absolutely phenomenal. You know, I remember some very, very initial days when I just started my first startup. I remember even Deep Kalra was we were all together sitting at Saurabh Srivastav's office in Zansa, discussing that, okay, I can't afford the lawyers, they are very expensive, who will give me advice? Or I can't afford accountants. We were discussing, that's when it came about that why don't we start creating pool of such services that TIE can do. So I have constantly evolved with TIE. A lot of services has come in. TIE has been always supportive, you know, with their networks. TIE from California would come in. So my first angel investment came in through a TIE member and in California. So for me, the whole journey with TIE has been evolved to the point that when I sold my last company, I started contributing back to TIE by working on entrepreneurship curriculum for class 12 students, or how to write a patent, how to make sure that your ideas are copyrighted before you tell to anybody. So there are a lot of security things that entrepreneurs who are very, very naive initially. So these are the contributions that I wanted to make, and TIE has been the bed where you could openly discuss these kind of forums, these kind of issues, and have forums where I could also gain from, you know. So the experience of most of these initial people who had done their startups, we all engage, and I think it has been a very contributory effort for me to evolve myself as an entrepreneur through the TIE. So I say that I'm born out of TIE.
So, experience is always a good thing, and you already have 2 successful startups. So do you think that as a serial entrepreneur, it helps? Like, the journey was difficult when you began, and now it is easier. Do you think?
Yeah, it is my 3rd startup. I sold the last company in 5 years. This I will sell in 3 years. But that's not the case. I ended up doing more mistakes that I did in the previous company. So there is no real, I would say, shortcut to the business. But the learning is that the percentage of wrong decisions that you take, they keep reducing. So that means the frequency of right decisions and the timing of the decisions are getting better and better with every startup, because you are able to predict what could happen and take decisions accordingly. But there is no shortcut.
So you sold previous companies to giants like Reliance and HP. So what are your plans for Mobilous as of now?
See, the vision has to be absolutely top of the line, but your steps has to be small. Vision is to get listed as the only technology company with a technology patent out of India, which nobody has in the world, that goes as becoming the world's largest no-code platform. That's the vision. And basically, as a Make in India product, I feel very proud, because we always felt that Indians cannot make products. It's only the Americans who make the product. So I think that gives me a big high to have a patent in the world, only patent in the US, to own a no-code technology here.
To wrap up the conversation, India has a thriving startup ecosystem, but on the reality side, only 9 to 10% startups really succeed. So, as a serial entrepreneur, what will be your tips and what will be your suggestions to the ones who, experience failure in the initial stage?
See, the first thing is that to realize that startups are no shortcut to easy money. I think that is a wrong paradigm, that ek startup kar lete hain and we'll quickly get some good investment. Second, when we get investment, we start to see for ourselves than to see where the company has to go. So we become a little selfish on that. So we don't know how to carefully spend so that you can last out till the revenues take over your costs. So the learning is that first is delay as much as possible till you get your first funding, so that you know the value of somebody who's willing to pay you for what you have created. Until that thought process has crept into the market, nobody will buy. Don't raise capital until somebody is willing to pay for your service or a product. Once you do that, you can get 5 more of a similar size. That is the time to raise the money. And once you get those 5, then you get VC money that will say, okay, you sold to 5 companies, I want you to sell it to 100 companies. Here is my money, grow. That makes a lot of difference. So never try to first take money and then think that we have suddenly become rich. It's not your money, it's your investors' money. So don't try to buy a big car or try to suddenly live in a very posh style. No, startups are not an easy way to earn easy money. That's the thought process that our people, and that is the reason for core failures that we experience in early stage.
Thank you, Mr. Sharma, for your insight.